The toughest houses ever built didn't rise proudly into the sky. They crouched, they hid, they sank into the earth and waited. 1,000 years ago, while most of Europe chased height, timber and display, Viking settlers at the edge of the known world were quietly preparing for a colder future no one else could yet see. And astonishingly, they got it right. This is one of those stories history almost lost. Not because it wasn't important, but because it looked too humble to matter. Grass roofs, dirt walls, homes that blended into the land instead of dominating it. But beneath that quiet appearance was some of the most advanced survival engineering of the medieval world. And it was built for a climate that hadn't fully arrived yet. When Norse settlers reached the North Atlantic in the late 9th century, they expected hardship. They didn't expect betrayal. The wind here didn't blow. It attacked. Winter didn't arrive. It erased daylight, and the greatest shock of all wasn't what the land did to them, but what it refused to give them. There were no forests. For a culture built on timber halls and wooden longhouses, this was a crisis. Wood wasn't just a building material, it was identity. Without it, Viking architecture as they knew it collapsed overnight. Turning back wasn't an option. So they did something rare in human history. They stopped forcing the land to obey old rules and started listening to it instead. What saved them was beneath their feet. The soil wasn't loose dirt. It was thick, layered turf, dense with roots, packed with organic matter, heavy, alive. It held warmth the way animal hide does. Modern tests have shown that under the right conditions, turf walls can insulate as effectively as modern materials used today. The settlers didn't have scientific language for this, but they felt it immediately. Turf didn't rot quickly. It didn't shatter in storms. It didn't depend on supply ships arriving on time. It was everywhere, and it worked. But turf alone wasn't enough. This wasn't about stacking dirt and hoping for mercy. This was about engineering. These homes were carved, not piled. Builders sliced turf into dense blocks and laid them in interlocking patterns designed to distribute weight and resist collapse. Walls grew shockingly thick, sometimes wider than a man is tall. That thickness wasn't excess. It was insulation. It was defence. Wood was used only where absolutely necessary. Beams, rafters, frames, every piece was precious, often scavenged from driftwood that had crossed oceans before landing on shore. Nothing was wasted. Then came the boldest decision of all. They didn't build upward. They built downward. Instead of standing tall against the wind, Viking homes sank into the earth. Half-buried structures reduced exposure to storms that could tear roofs from buildings in just minutes. The surrounding soil acted as a natural thermal stabilizer, holding warmth through those long nights and violent freezes. This wasn't comfort. It was survival physics. By lowering the profile of the home, wind lost its grip. By leaning into the earth, the house borrowed the planet's steady temperature. These homes weren't fighting nature. They were hiding inside it. Once buried, they became nearly impossible to destroy. Beneath the turf walls lay something most visitors never notice: a carefully laid stone foundation. Heavy, deliberate, precise. This stone layer kept moisture from creeping upward and collapsing the walls. It drained water naturally. No pumps, no tools, no maintenance. Archaeologists still find these stone outlines intact, even when the turf above has vanished entirely. What remains is the ghost of a house that refused to die. This wasn't primitive construction. It was passive engineering centuries before the term existed. The roof was the final masterpiece. Wooden rafters were covered in bark to repel water. Then thick slabs of turf were laid on top. Over time, grass grew, moss spread, roots tangled themselves into the structure. The roof didn't sit on the house. It fused with it. From a distance, these homes looked like part of the hillside, just a wooden door breaking the illusion. That wasn't camouflage, that was insulation. A living roof that repaired itself, held heat, and anchored the home against storms that flattened anything standing proud nearby. The house didn't dominate the land. It became land. Fire, warmth, and the quiet cost. Inside, everything revolved around the hearth. Heat was life. Low ceilings trapped it. Narrow openings kept storms out. Families slept close together along the walls, sharing warmth, stories, and survival. But there was a price. The same insulation that kept them alive trapped smoke. Ventilation was a gamble. Open a vent and risk losing the fire. Close it and breathe soot for months. Archaeological evidence shows heavy smoke build up on beams and signs of long-term lung stress in skeletal remains. These homes saved lives. They also demanded endurance. Survival is never free. A world flattened by climate. From the outside, all these homes look the same. Low, green, nearly invisible. Wealth didn't announce itself through architecture here. Storms didn't care who you were. Turf erased hierarchy. Chieftains and farmers lived under the same grass roofs. Social status returned in burial rituals, not daily life. Some historians believe this quiet architectural equality reshaped society more deeply than any law ever written. Climate-forced humility. Built for the cold still coming. Here's the part that should stop you cold. These houses weren't just built for the climate of the moment, they were built for worse. Centuries later, the region slid into a long period of colder winters and harsher storms. The homes were ready. Modern reconstructions prove it. Turf houses regulate heat, resist wind, and outperform many wooden structures that came much later. They weren't backward. They were ahead. The settlers may not have known the future by name, but they sensed it, and they built for it. The lesson buried in the grass. The Vikings weren't just warriors or explorers. They were readers of land and weather, engineers without blueprints, survivors who understood that the strongest move isn't conquest, it's adaptation. These homes still whisper that lesson today, half-buried, quiet, waiting for us to notice. If stories like this matter to you, If you believe history still has secrets worth uncovering, make sure you subscribe to the Forgotten War Fronts. Share this episode with someone who loves the past, not for nostalgia, but for the lessons it left behind. Because some of the smartest answers to our future are still hiding in the ground.